Hey everyone, it's Justin here, Voices for Voices. Thank you so much for joining us, watching, listening, and here in the United States and across the world. We really appreciate it. Uh, this episode that we are putting together today, and of course, our dog, her birthday's today, so she just liked to be seen. So the episode we're going to be focusing the topic on is on all mothers, Mother's Day recently passed here in the United States, and just like a lot of things, sometimes there's miscommunication. Uh, there's a whole host of things, whether it's a holiday or whether it's not. There's really a whole host of things that can happen on a daily basis. And so that's what we're going to talk about today is how Mother's Day was and how we can maybe I don't know like learn from this past Mother's Day. So that's what we're gonna jump into with our guest, David Solomon. So, David, thanks for joining us as always, and take it from here before Lucy starts talking.
Hi, Lucy.
So, yeah, you're good to go. You're good to go, David, if you wanna jump in.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I heard you first. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're good. Um, so I wanted to talk about Mother's Day and something I've learned from it because I'm a newborn dad. So like we have a newborn and it makes you appreciate things and see the world a little differently than before. And yeah, we've had Ryan and Mother's Day has been special, but this is a little different. And so one thing that I've noticed um, with parents, uh, a lot of people take it for granted, which I've learned. Um, a lot of people think that when you're a mom, like a stay-at-home mom, you don't do hard work and you're just goofing off and sitting on your butt and just watching TV, and that's not the case. Um, I'm going to put it into perspective. Normal people, um, we we eat 3 meals a day and we burn calories from running, or we have a choice to burn calories working out. Well, a mom to a newborn breastfeeding loses a lot of calories each time and has to replenish, or she gets too weak and frail. And that's important here. Um, it's very important. I think that a lot of people take for granted that moms go through this sacrifice for their child and also start to lack health on their part because they're so concerned for their kid. And us husbands, us dads, um, we we think it's a joke, and it's not. It puts a lot of pressure on the body. Um, Being a mom is special, and for us to take it for granted as husbands and treat it as a joke just doesn't work. You know, one thing I'll say to husbands is don't compare your own mom to your wife because it's a totally different experience. You know, our moms, they take care of us, and um, our wives, they're moms to our kids, and you get to watch and help and try to support in any way you can the hard days. And trust me, there's a lot of them with having a newborn. Is it worth it? Yeah, it's totally worth it. But there are hard days. Um, and some days you just don't know what to do. You're running around with your head cut off like a chicken. Um, that's kind of what has gone down some days. My family is a very unique situation because I'm a CEO of mythical creatures around the world. And I have to balance being a dad, a father, and a CEO and a writer, doing all these stories and trying not to neglect other things. Sometimes I fail at it miserably, and God forgives me. Thank the Lord. But seriously, um, my wife then juggles being mom, caretaker, um, and also editor of mythical creatures around the world, which denies her time because everybody's time is ate up by the newborn and by lack of sleep and just all these things. Um, they add up. So I'm on the phone every day, talking to people and doing all these myths because we're going to be doing a huge event. You already know about it. It's called Voices for Voices Publishing Tour 2027. It's going to be very huge. And there's a lot of preparation and a lot of scariness involved. And my wife, she's the editor of all my books. See, I have dyslexia and I can't spell very well in some words, or I do it backwards. And so when I do that, um, she has to edit everything to make sure everything runs smoothly. Now, the painful part is when I met her, she actually had a movie going on in Hollywood, and we're going to talk about that. It's called From Atlantis or Atlantis to Atlanta, and it nicknamed Theta. And it was shut down because of apparently harassment from people. And then it got moved, and then it got put on hold. And now we're, getting back into that. It was originally going to be a Hallmark type story, and there were some big actors involved, and Amanda was talking to them, and we had relationships with them, and the writing strike really affected it, and that put my family through a hellhole. Um, and she hasn't really recovered from that as a writer, and she wants time to write. She wrote her book Liberty. It's out now, and we'll be doing a press release on it. But she wants to write her stuff, and part of that is mythical. And uh, there's no time to do that when you're a mom, and there's no free time for yourself, and so that's not been fair to watch. I'm a creator, but she's also a creator too. It's part of the reason we fell in love. She's very good at creating her own stories. I mean, brilliant uh, execution on some of those stories. And then you got Ryan, great kid, and he's writing his book, and so we're doing that, and there's no time, and pretty soon it's midnight, and we've only gotten two things done out of nine, and that's kind of what our house is right now, not in order. And I want to tell husbands out there that are working that job like I am, appreciate your wife because she's a mom to your kids, And don't just act like, oh, here's flowers, happy Mother's Day. Actually do something that means something. Don't be generic and be like, oh, well, thanks for being a mom to my kid. Here's a flower. Be creative about what you do. Sometimes it'll backfire on you. I'll give you an example. If you have something that has to be cleaned and you haven't cleaned it in a few weeks and you want to surprise her, then do it. It might backfire because she might have told you to do it 9 times and you didn't do it because you were, I don't know, busy, but do it because you want to show her, hey, I appreciate you. I know this hasn't been cleaned. Everybody's been at work. You've been nursing and taking care of the baby. I've been a 9 to 5. Let me help you take out the trash. Let me help vacuum. Let me, spruce up. But show the initiative. And I promise you that will help you in the long run. Being a mom, you only get one mom. And that's something very important they talk about, but they also don't say a lot of times you only get one wife. That's kind of the idea. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but that's how God wanted it. And you have to treasure that. And if you neglect it and it slips, you can't get that back. Time is lost. And now what? You know? So we really got to hone in on being better husbands and uh, just really appreciating our wife as a mom for all the hardship that she does for our kids. I don't know about you, but I can't nurse a baby. Can you, husbands? No? So, uh, Mother's Day is about appreciation, and you really got to do that. I get it that, you know, things get in the way, and us husbands, we're working our 9 to 5 and juggling everything, but we got to show our wives of taking care of kid where it's not worth it. You got to show initiative and you got to show, that you care and that they matter. One of the books that I'm writing uh, is going to talk about that. I've kind of seen it from a husband's point of view and have friends that are husbands that neglected their wife this year, not thinking that it would matter. And it mattered when they sent him flowers and said, Happy Mother's Day. I got to work. Yeah, that didn't work well. And yeah, I may have gotten caught up in doing that a little bit. Uh, my friend Charlie did it. Uh, Scooter did it. A lot of people I know did it, and that was wrong. And we got to change the way that we see this holiday. We see it as the 4th of July, and we're celebrating mothers, but we're not celebrating our wives. We're celebrating our mothers, and that's just not true. Now, most of you know that I lost my mom, and um, for the most part, uh, until now, I've celebrated her on that day. But the thing is, for husbands, I'm seeing that's not such a good idea because then we compare our moms to our wives, and that doesn't end well. And I'll tell you why, because it's a very different situation. So in my book, I'm writing about celebrating our moms on their birthday and our wives on Mother's Day because when you get married, there's a separation that no one really talks about. And that separation matters because, um, you know, you give attention to your wife now. You move out of your mom's place. Yeah, happy Mother's Day. That's okay. But you need to show your attention to your wife, not your parent. Now, if your mom wants to jog along and, be cool, that's fine. But make it a priority about your wife, not your mom. Something that a lot of people don't think about. Um, and then like now, with Mythical, uh, Amanda hasn't had the time of day to, post something because we've been so busy and caught up on things. And, things just get away from us quickly. We want to change that. Um, I'm writing my Batman story right now. It's really good. I'm really proud of it. Um, we're about 70 to 100 pages in. Really excited. Doing Brookings, doing good things. But I've had to take, 3 days off, almost four, just to catch up on life and appreciate the little things. And man, you don't know what is there until it's gone. And your wife needs to be that priority no matter what. And then, um, you know, even not on Mother's Day, say thank you. It goes a long way. Just say thank you. Thank you for taking care of our kid. Thank you for doing the things that I can't, like nursing. Thank you, for those late nights when I'm at work. Thank you, for cooking dinner when I couldn't be there. Just a little thank you. It goes a long way. And that's something I've learned. And I would caution people to say thank you once in a while. Before um, Justin, I I really wasn't that good at editing. Um, my wife would, you know, edit everything, and um, I tried to be better about that on Mythical and make sure things are spelled right, and cleaned it up a little bit so she can have space now to post on her own. And that's working now if she has time. And that's the good that's come out of that. But at the same time, she still has to edit my work or it looks like crud, you know? So lots of hard work in our house. And then you got Ryan, he has to get his book edited. And so, everybody's book is edited and there's no time to breathe. That's what it is right now. Um, so bottom line, say thank you. It'll go a long way and you will see a change in your house if you appreciate the things that you can't do that your wife has. It just will really go a long way. Um, it's really opened my eyes. Um, and it's showing in my story um, that one of my characters is going to learn the hard way, and I've chosen to do that to try and impact people on, you know, better thinking, should I say, better choices on how we navigate the world in that. Um, and then like Justin, he did a post for Disneyland, and that's the other thing. We got this tour going on. Can't say a lot, but its purpose is to bring hope to a broken world because my family's not perfect and your family's not perfect and the people listening are not perfect. And we just want to bring hope back and we want to build others up and not tear them down. And our tour is to do just that. I want to bring people closer to faith. I want to bring people closer to their families. and I want to warm people's hearts. Some stories are going to be mature, where they're uh, for a mature audience. Some stories are going to be for teens with hard topics. Some others are going to be cleaner, but they're there for a purpose. They're not there to glorify that sin or that blood and gore. They're to glorify God in all of these stories and to show that there is hope in the darkness, no matter how dark this story is. My wife, she's been working on a story, um, kind of about how we met, and I'd like you guys to be a part of it. Um, Sort of a spy series. Not that we're spies, but how we met kind of adds up, and um, it's called Aquaforce. She's been working on it 4 years now, along with another one, Blood Brothers. It was stolen from her by a man named Joseph Kim. Hollywood's not a nice place, guys. And so she has some things in the landing pattern that she wants to strike out, to get things out, along with Titan, her other series. It's like Wednesday. It'll be interesting to see what she does. So I really want to, encourage you guys, and people that hate on me too, because I know I'm going to get the hate, especially on this tour. People are going to go, "How dare you do a tour?" Well, we're in a dark place, and we don't need any more darkness in this world. We need hope. We do need superheroes, and we need truth. And that is what Mythical Creatures Around the World is about, bringing hope to broken communities. And when I say broken communities, that means every community, because every community is broken in one way or another. If you're rich or you're poor, you are broken. We all cry. We're all sad. We are broken. We are human. And if you're Christian, like I am, and these books do reflect from that point of view a lot, just to show hope. I'm not going to preach at you. I just want to clean an industry up that I was anointed to do since 6 years old, 451 novels earlier. And I'm a little bit behind. God's been speaking through me about Mother's Day, about appreciation for your spouse. All these things have been just really drawn out in my writing. And when I write, you know, there's no way to say this. God just puts the words on the paper, and I'm just the vessel that God uses to the pen. And this story I'm writing is so heavy on my heart. I am scared to death of the readers because it's something. Um, it is clean for the most part, but it's a teen book. It's based on the story of Batman. I did a story with my mom 5 years ago before she died called She Bat. And it is Batwoman on the CW, but I kind of did a cleaner version. And Batman is based on folklore. And so we're also doing production in Fort Worth on a Batman like drama based on the folklore of Batman. Because his name was not Batman. He was a man that dressed up as a bat. We're going back to the founding of Batman and what created these myths: Wonder Woman, Flash, Hawkman, and you're going to see that on Mythical even more and more. Even Spider-Man had a mythical hero that created him. X-Men, the list goes on. Um, Listen, Appreciate your wife. It goes a long way. I mean it. And um, this tour, which I'll talk about, I may be the writer, but a lot of people don't think about this. My wife is the editor, so she's the one that makes everything sound good and clean and not run through, you know? And so if you're a writer and my predecessor and mentor, uh, Mike, he always gave his wife credit. And Mike, I know you're listening. Um, buddy, you give your wife credit for all the editing on the comics, and that's what we got to do in the front of the book. Thank you to my wife for editing this. Thank you for the dedication. Thank you for being a mom and finding the time to edit this and make this come a reality. Those dedication pages aren't made for our publishers. Those dedication pages are made for the people that made this moment happen in our personal life. There is a place for thanking our publishers, but that is not the place, I believe. And a lot of authors make that mistake. So if you're an author, man, you better thank your spouse if they're editing your work. Because it's a lot of hard work, guys, cleaning up after us. Because we're the ones that create the story, and they're the ones that make it run smoothly. I create 9 stories a day. It's crazy. But in the end, she's the one that makes it, sound good. I'll give you an example. 2 days ago, uh, I did a story. It's just, concept. It's about a cop in LA. And he became a cop because his parents were cops and they were murdered in LA. And he knows it was an inside job. And so he becomes a cop in order to find out who did it. And then he learns that something isn't right. And then he transforms into a mythical creature of LA and learns that his parents were mythicals too. And that's why they were killed. I won't spoil it for you, but it's a concept. Then I have to write that concept down and have my wife edit it. And I act everything out that I do. And Justin has firsthand seen it. Um, so I get all the dialogue like that going, just crazy amounts of dialogue. So, you know, I just want to say, um, it's a lot of work. And I don't know where my story is going to go because I'll give you an example. If I'm on the phone to someone in Brookings and then they give me information and I act that out, and then, whether I draw it out or what, then I write it out and I put all that information together to make it make sense. I'll write the entire season, entire episodes. And my family has to sometimes deal with, dad's having a late night and, you know, maybe people were neglected. And so I have to make up for that. That is the sacrifice that my family puts up with in order to be missionaries in this foreign field. And husbands, we don't say thank you. And that brings me to my next topic in my book. Pastors, we preach sermons because God anoints us to lead people to Him. And missionaries, we lead people to Him on that foreign field, but we neglect our families and don't say thank you for making this possible. You would not be on the pulpit if your wife wasn't staying home taking care of your kid. Voices for Voices publishing isn't publishing because it wants to. It's because there's a need. It's because it has to. This tour is a missionary tour. We are missionaries in this foreign field. And God has laid this on my heart since 6 years old. And we will have musicians on this tour, and I'm going to drop it now. We will have musicians on this tour. We will not be alone on this tour. There are other voices that will have their voice that have been impacted, famous people that, you know, want to have that moment to help people and raise people up. I want you to think about something. Justin Hartley from Tracker, great person. I know him personally, great guy. He went out of his way. He got an award. I believe it was in St. Louis, Missouri. And he didn't want the award. He gave back to the place that gave his award and said, I love the award, but I'm going to sell it because it's made out of gold and I want to give it back to your community and I want to help your school and I want to help your college. Those are the people we're going to have on this tour, the people that give back and don't take away from others. We want to impact not only this country, not only this culture, but the world. Not politically, not propaganda. And our family, well, that's a lot of stress because we're going to be in the spotlight doing that because no one ever has. We're not focused on the family. We're not Thomas Nelson and we're not CBN and we're not these big corporations. We are just anointed and called to do this. And we are not guaranteed a good outcome. We are guaranteed a reward in heaven that is greater than the reward that we will have here on earth. And that is why we do this, to lead people to truth and to get them out of a dark place. The passion has ignited in my heart for Mother's Day to touch this topic, to even write a novel based on it, because we have no appreciation for the hard work that our spouses go through and the sacrifice that our families go through so we can be on that pulpit. And each book might as well be me standing up on that pulpit and leading people to God and saying, do you know him? It is not easy what I do. And this book that I'm writing right now, it is so hard for me to write this because I have experienced persecution from law enforcement. I have been a victim of that. Wrong place, wrong time. Didn't do anything wrong. I was a white boy in a black neighborhood. Terrible place to be. And here I am writing a story about a black person that gets accused of doing something by white cops. And here I am reliving the trauma of that moment and shining a light that says you don't have to be like this just because you can. Be better. Do better. A lot of people mock my experiences. No, it made me who I am and it strengthened me. This ice stroke, it strengthens me every day because I thank God that I can see once in a while and I can see my kids, my newborn. I can see my family. I can see to right. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for the trees. Thank you, Lord, for the water. Thank you, Lord, for the sky. Thank you for letting me watch this TV movie. We watched Swap last night. It messed my eyes up. Great movie. Good message. Really inspired me. Really brought me out to do this. This was supposed to be done Mother's Day, but again, life gets in the way. So this brought it out even more. I just want to grab on with people and say, do better and thank our spouses. They do an amazing job. They really do. I want to take it a step further. I want to take it a step further with uh, with our spouses and make Mother's Day once a week. 6 days, you work, and maybe on a night, not a date night, an appreciation night. Date night's different. Appreciation is saying, hey, honey, you know, I want to know what you want to do, or you want to watch this, take some time and I'll watch the kids and, maybe give her a card. I just want to appreciate you for being mom to my kid. I know it's a lot, but it'll go a long way for everyone. So, it's something in my book too that I'm trying to experiment with my characters. And it goes a long way. Now, some of us on Mother's Day, our parents weren't nice, and I am going to call out Amanda's parents. I don't have to say names, but when you mistreat someone so fragile, you you rob them of motherly love. So then what happens is they go into unhealthy relationships seeking out that love. And then they finally find that love and they have a kid. And then they never want that kid to have that robbed love. So they become the most loving parent you'll ever see in your life. That's what I see with Amanda. She was robbed of that love. And so she needs extra love and extra care because she didn't get it as a kid. And so she gives that love that she never got to her kids, but she sometimes neglects herself. And that's dangerous. So please appreciate your spouses. And if you didn't have a good childhood, you know, even as a father, right? As husbands, you know, then give that love that you were never shown and your wife too, to your kids. That's a second message for Father's Day. Because I didn't have a dad. I had a mom. And that's the other thing. I was raised by my mom. And so a lot of people call me gay and feminine, and I'm not. I was raised by my mom to watch chick flicks. I was raised by my mom to raise kids. I was raised by my mom. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Do the hay bells, do the chores. I was raised by my mom to be a gentleman and not macho. I don't have a macho thing in my body. I'm a straight up cowboy who tries to respect everybody with dignity and not pride and try to be humble about it and give the shirt off my back if they need it. I try to be a good person. I try to listen to the stewards of Christ and do the best I can. And I fail at it miserably every day because I am a sinner and not a saint, saved by grace and not by works of men. I can't tell you how hard it is to be, uh, you know, to be in the spotlight, to be famous with mythical. A lot of people see it and go, not a lot of people see that. Are you aware that we have 100,000 people a day that do? Are you aware of the messages we get? Are you aware of the impact that we have, of the impact this tour is going to have? There's a lot of impact. There's a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of love and a lot of heart. And on top of that, we're going to have a toy line for our tour. And that's a lot of pressure because, you know, I have to paint things and I have to do everything. And you guys are going to have toys, the kids on this tour, to get to know the characters, to connect with people. in new ways, and stickers and comics. It's so much going on. And a lot of you may criticize me for what I'm about to say next, but you know, I owe seeing, appreciating, you know, my wife and all that to Justin Bieber because Justin did the same thing. He worked 9 to 5. He neglected his life, and and it changed him, and it was a very unhappy moment. And then uh, he said, "Thank you for being a mom," because he's on tour, he's doing his music, and he can't be there to take care of the kid. And it dawned on him, I owe it to him to seeing the errors of my ways and others' ways. I owe it to my wife, looking at what she's gone through and robbed of love. How can we impact on tour? How can we show that pain and turn it into beauty? I call my wife Beauty uh, because that's her. She's Beauty, Beauty and the Beast. She's the most beautiful woman on the planet. And guys, you should come up with a nickname for your wife, not just call her, you know, Lisa or Tanya or you know, Tara, Jane, Cara. Call her a special name for you. But show her you care and that you'll go out of your way to show that. Impact your relationship. This tour, I can't stress it enough, is going to be stressful as it is. We're going into schools, we're going into all over. We're going to impact the world, and we're not going to do this negatively. Um, we're going to do this with hope, with love, with faith, with light. And we're going to pave the way for our children to live in a safer world. We don't have to get political about it. We don't have to shout in people's faces. Just got to make a difference. One book at a time, one comic, one toy at a time, one smile at a time, one prayer at a time, one sermon at a time, one audiobook at a time. Taking up a lot of our time has been getting all these actors together for an audio drama set here right in LA. And Mike from Monk Studios, you guys, if you're listening and you're in Hollywood, look up Monk Studios, Monk Studios. Man, you really got to look him up. Amazing guy, amazing prices. You want to shoot a movie or a TV show, man, he is the guy to go to. Okay. He is the guy to go to. Give him your business. I know you guys are out there listening. Give him your business. I'll do a huge shout out on Mythical for him any day. He's been with us for almost 4 years, and we've been on hold in production because of the writers' strike and Amanda's, and we're working with another production studio right now, and doing our story, Turning the Tides, and this Batman story set in Fort Worth, and he's been so patient. And we communicate every week. It breaks my heart that I have to delay sometimes because it's out of my hands. And we're finally coming to that season where things are starting to take hold, and we're going to get there. And Mother's Day came, and chaos just has happened in the last 3 days. Can't get anybody on the phone, can't get anybody's schedule. So, he's in the spotlight too with this and helping us out because we're going to have audio dramas. This is a real thing. Voices for Voices is going to have audio dramas, toys, its own music, books, comics. and yes, video games and RPGs. We're going to impact the world in ways you never thought were possible. That is what we're going to do. And that's why I'm announcing also, with careful uh, editing, the Blue Boy and the Finn Kitten, written in 2019, will be the next book published by Voices for Voices Publishing, available this summer to you. It is a kid book. It sold very well on my Amazon page. We sold about 500 copies in about a month. And things stopped because someone tried to hack the Amazon accounts. And the money's been going to someone else. And we're going to stop that. So a lot of authors are asking if we're going to publish other authors, and we are open to that. But at the moment, unless it meets our mission and our vision, Voices for Voices will strictly be mythical creatures around the world. And the reason for that is because we're going to open up a bookstore. And you heard me. We're going to open up a bookstore at the end of this tour. And mythical is going to be an alternative to Marvel and DC for parents that want something that has a message. Whether you're Christian or not, come to us. We won't preach at you, we'll teach with you. We'll be the parents to your kids if you are on a job and you're worried about what your parents are reading or watching. Let us be that parent for you. Let us be that substitute. Let us teach your kid what's right and wrong if you can't be there. Don't rely on the world right now because they are feeding you trash. We as a family are mythical creatures around the world. We're trying to do the best we can to make sure your kiddos learn something from our books and don't learn trash from someone else's. So we're going to do the best we can. Now that goes for the adults. Adults, you need called out too. There's a lot of lustful behavior out there right now with some spice in some books, and we got to deal with that. We got to preach that. We got to tell that story. So there's adult books that I'm writing, and they're one of a kind. And no one has talked to adults. Do you know it's so dangerous to neglect adults? Because you throw them out of youth group and they don't know what to do. And they make stupid decisions at college. And then there's the adults at 40 or 50, they give in to their lust and give in to these lifestyles and screw up their life. And what if your book could save them? What if your book could stop that? So I'm also announcing that I'm doing a series for the older generation, the 50 to 70, that give up, that live in nursing homes. Well, there's hope for you too. But we as a family are Voices for Voices Publishing, and Justin included, because we want to impact people. And I don't get on a lot now on the podcast because I devote a lot of my time to my career, my family's career, and my life. But when I do, I try to make it extra special so I can impact you guys. And this message is appreciate your family, your spouse. Say thank you. 7 days a week you got. 2 hours out of 7 days on a Saturday or Sunday or a Monday, it doesn't matter. Get that in there. Make a card. Thank you. You want to watch something, honey? I'll watch the kids. You want to watch something with me? Okay, I'll give you a back rub. Do something. And if they're not communicating with you and like, screw you, we'll do it anyway. What's the worst that can happen? So that's my message. Do better, be better, be a part of the change and not the problem. I'll let Justin take it from here, but I've learned a lot. I hope you've learned a lot in this last past hour, and we'll talk to you soon. Justin?
Wow, I wasn't expecting so much so many things dropped at one time. So it's shocking to me too. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna be shocking a lot of people. Rewinding and playing it again and rewinding and playing it again. Uh, because there were things that I wasn't expecting and uh but hey, that just what you said. I mean, every day we just do the best that we can and we can always do better and uh just I mean it's just one example. I mean, even being kind to ourselves, kinder for self-imposed deadlines that do they does something need to be done for somebody else, or is it like I'm self-imposing deadlines? And that's what I've fallen into. And then being, like to myself, like, nope, Justin, you screwed up and you didn't do that, or I'm finding out that the closer we can get at 500 total episodes, I've totally been so into the weeds to now take a step back and look at just where we're at as an organization, as a podcast TV show, who we're reaching, where they're at, from governments to intelligence agencies, here in the United States, across the world. And you said it so eloquently that we're going to be helping a lot of people, and there's going to be a majority of those people that we're not going to have a chance to meet. But I will say this, that uh, if if you're able to, we'd love to hear from you. So send a message. Again, for those not acquainted with mythical creatures around the world, you gotta get Facebook and you gotta follow mythical creatures around the world. Uh, that's where that's where the magic really happens. And I think our last myth, or maybe a myth or two ago, actually was magical because it was actually about Disneyland. So uh, there's so much positive to come that's going on, so much hard work, and uh, that's the other thing. I think I'll just close it with, anything worth doing is going to take a lot of work. If whether it's, I don't know, building a house or building an airplane or building a car or mowing the grass and or whatever it may be. There's just so many things out there that uh, we we can spend our time on, and with family unfortunately I think the culture has just made it a little bit too easy for people and families, and that for not for all of them, not not everybody, but there are some where it's like that. And I fall into that category that you mentioned, that you go to church and then go to college and fall off the horse per se, uh, and so the fact that we're going to have books and we're going to have items that are going to help that particular I say generation or group of folks is really important because again, I was one of those people, and it was exactly like you said. It's like you go to church, and then the parents have a little bit more control over you, obviously growing up, um and loving homes, we hope. And then we go to college and it's like, well, I don't have to wake up to go to class tomorrow. Nobody's gonna, mom or dad isn't gonna come in and wake me up, or my phone isn't gonna wake me up. I don't if I don't set it. And we just need more things, more positiveness. So I mean, a lot of this is new to me. I mean, talking about toys and audiobooks and different productions. And I would second that. Anybody who is in the LA area that is in search of awesome studio space, both indoor, outdoor, uh, Mike at Monk Studio, just, I mean, hands down, one of the nicest people, one of the most caring, first and foremost, before, we sit down and talk business is, how's everybody doing? And you know what? Let's take care of this and then let's regroup. And there's a lot of things in life that are just frustrating. Um, and we do the best we can. And that's all we can do. And for those naysayers, those people that are hating, and um, th- unfortunately, we can't change them. They're going to say what they're going to say. They're going to type what they're going to type. They're going to shout what they're going to shout. They're going to review how they're going to review. And we can't do anything about it. While we would like to, uh, that takes away from what we have here. Uh, is, that freedom of speech and bringing people together on culture and not politics. And so you're gonna also be seeing that as well. It's gonna it's gonna become front and center uh for quite a few things. I think, coming as as we t just talk about there's just so much on the horizon. Uh, but when we talk about culture, we're talking about people. When we talk about politics, we're talking about agendas, and we don't want to have the agenda. The only agenda we want is to be human centric, and help. And uh, that's as I have Lucy just licking my hand for no reason apparently at all. But it's her
You're good.
birthday, so I guess it's her rules today. Uh, which I would ask to check the episode before this is a happy birthday to Lucy episode. It's kind of cool for not never having a pet and in that. So it's a lighthearted episode. I told you we talk about hard things and we talk about easy things, and that was definitely an e easy fun thing to talk about. Uh, we're just so excited to have this opportunity. The fact that technology is where it's at, that we're able to connect with people all across the world, and it's just amazing. And as if you hear that, I might. our siding on our house is just on the one side, just uh the wind's kind of taking it for a ride. So if you hear any banging back and forth, that's we're used to that now. So working on getting that fixed. But that's life. Things happen. And so that's what we're working through. I want to thank David for coming on short notice for this episode. It just covers so much content, uh, about families and significant others and uh, I mean, just family and humans and instead of like agendas. And then that's what I'm so excited about the things that we have done and the things that we're continuing to do. And I'll say this, you're gonna see episode 500 total episodes of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast sooner rather than later. And I just want to say we're just a teeny tiny nonprofit organization. And to think way back when I started the show, had no idea what would it amount to. We've gotten kicked out of studio. We've had so many ups and downs, but yet we've pivoted and we're going to continue going, and that's an exciting part.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, face excuse me, Facebook, mythical creatures around the world, voicesforvoices.org. We're gonna be we're gonna be building a lot of things.
Incredible
So
things. Today, because I didn't have time to do a myth yesterday, and I do my own art mostly. I will admit sometimes I use CGI or AI to generate a background, but I always draw the characters because sometimes background I'm not good at right now. And that's only because of my eye injury.
yeah,
Um, and I'm getting back to it. But we're going to do a myth that is set in Seal Beach today. Me and my mom kind of lived there for a time, and so did my wife and I actually for a few months. It was about 4 years ago, and we're going to be doing that so everyone can just see that. Um, it's called Jason and Ada. It's a story I posted on my Facebook about 3, 4 years ago. Well, about 3 years ago. Um, it got a lot of attention, but then I never did anything with it. And so we're going to look at turning that into a Voices for Voices publishing moment later on. But that mythology needs brought out um, because it's a really cool story. And I got it because me and my wife and Ryan, we were on the beach one day, and I talked to the lifeguard, and he told me about this creature that they saw, two of them. That's where the story came from, and that's how I am as a folklorist. No matter what state or country I'm in, I will never run out of folklore because you just talk to someone and you'll find it. And this one in particular is Christian because it has a Christian tie about demonic and demon hunters. So it's really an interesting twist on Seal Beach. But I'm really excited to share it with you guys. Um, and then you probably saw the Disneyland sighting, uh, and that has something to do with our tour. We can't say much yet, but there are things in the works that are very huge, and uh, and Disneyland is one of those things that is very huge about that. Um, and we're not, trying to speak out and go, "Oh, we're imagining this." No, we're doing this, and it's a lot of hard work on everyone. And I say again, thank you to my family, thank you to my wife for being a mom to my kids, but also for editing my work. Um, the other book that she did when we met is actually before we met, when we first fell in love, was Bat Thing, New Mexico. And um, another series like Twilight that we never finished, and Sarasota. And I'm just, so excited to share those with you. Bat Thing, New Mexico is a story that Voices for Voices Publishing will be publishing. Um, one thing I will say is you're going to see a lot of books come out, and we're going to do this like Star Wars, where there's a timeline of when those books were written and they're canonized. You're probably going to see about 400 books in a 2 to 3 year period. That's what it's going to come to. And we already have 80 of those out on Amazon here and there or other publishing houses. And we're going to bring those over, and then we're going to partner with big time publishers like Little Brown and other people. So, you know, we really just want to help and nurture people in these stories. And also with our stories, you learn true folklore, history. You don't have to read the Greek gods. No offense to Percy Jackson, which I love. Rick Riordan, great guy. We know each other. Um, learned a lot, but we don't have to go to the Greek gods. We can go to God, and we can go to our town, our city, our country. Maybe it's an island. Maybe it's a landmark. Maybe you're in space on the space station. They need God too, right? So, amen to that. So we have a little bit for everybody. Um, we also have our historical line about real history and kind of some alternative history, Native American branch, Chinese branch, Japanese branch, so many branches. So we're just excited to do that. I'll leave it with this to drop. Um, I am going to be writing the first Christian horror that is for teens, and also a kid horror series like Goosebumps. And a lot of people went, "You can't do that." Well, Ted Decker did it. I know Mr. Decker, great guy. Peretti, I know him. He wrote about my hometown in Ashland. It can be done. And we don't have to be bloody about it. We don't have to explode heads and do all that. It can be done. And you can preach to a horror audience that likes that. And you can glorify God through your work. It can be so great. Um, so we are going to be doing a horror series coming up this winter. Um, and I'm going to break the plot because I was told to reveal it. Um, and lo and behold, it's about a mom and her son, and her husband has PTSD from the war, and it really messed him up. And so, what happens is they go uh, to her mom, who lives on an island in the Puget Sound area, and they go there, and there's a winter storm while her husband is hunting her down. And anyway, they Christmas is coming, and they're just having a good time. It's Christmas Eve, and then she wakes up, and her son is gone, and she's the only one on the island. Everyone's gone in a winter storm. There's no way off the island. It's snowing. It's a blizzard. And worse, then she finds someone on the island, and he has amnesia, and he doesn't know who he is or how he got there. And worse, someone else is trying to kill them. I'm so excited to share that story. I've been working on that story for 10 years. I'm so excited to share it with you guys. And then the other story I'm going to drop is called Cyclone Man. And that comes from Oklahoma and Oregon. And it's going to be a story about a dad who really messed up and has an anger problem and got himself in trouble, and he didn't mean to, and he was pushed at work and hit someone and ended up in jail. And so now he's in a dispute for his kid. And he has to show that he's not going to let that anger ruin his relationship. He's going to be the better dad. He becomes the cyclone man in My Life as a Cyclone, based on Native American folklore of Oklahoma City. And I am proud to announce that. My son's book, The Boy and the Sword, set in Sunset Beach, California, will be out this winter. It's going to be big. There's going to be toys. You guys aren't going to want to miss it. It's written by a 10-year-old. Drake Colton, The Search for Drake Colton, when he was 9 last year, be a sequel. And then we're also doing a hybrid series set in Southern California when we were there. And it's going to be brilliant, beautiful. Um, you're going to get to see it in Roblox. He's designing some of that. Um, Again, when my wife has a moment, she's doing a psychological thriller, and you guys are going to be treated to that, set in our mythical world. Um, so there's so many things on the horizon, um, and we're just so excited to share it. Second Chances, Laguna Beach, is already written, and that's coming to you guys this summer. But the holidays are kind of going to be when all the books drop, and we're just so excited for that. We're going to be doing what's called a phase one during the tour because we don't have exact dates for you guys on the tour yet. We're still lining up things. So phase one is going to be 10 books um, and 5 different age groups in those 10 books with toys and a comic and possibly a Roblox game to go with those. And so those 5 categories are uh, the uh, the kid category for the 8 and up, like the young Siren born. We have the middle grade category, and then we have teen teen red, which is hard topics, and then teen blue, which is a clean book, and then we have our adult line, and our adult line is mature. That is adult red. We are going to have an adult yellow and an adult green to use for caution. I said 5, but I didn't lie, but we're trying to release this too because I have a Hallmark story. We're going to release Hallmark novels as well, kind of like Harley Quinn romance, where you go into Fred Meyer or Walmart and you see those come out monthly. We're also going to have a subscription service coming soon. Um, and so you're going to subscribe to get these books, and they're going to be mailed to you. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as we get closer. We also are working with a manager, and a special shout out to him for helping get this done. Um, so we are dropping a lot of information on purpose today so that you guys, the listeners, just see what we're all about. And we have talked about hard topics and we've called out a lot of things, and we've done what needs to be done there. And now it's time to heal communities that have been hurt and be that light and be that voice for those that have no voice and has been silenced. So I thank you for letting me come on this podcast and partner with you, and help run this publishing house, and for being a part of this moment to make history. I thank my wife for being my editor, my best friend, my confidant, my partner in crime, partner in time, and vow to appreciate her more than ever because she was robbed of that as a kid. I hope that this inspires other listeners to do the same to their spouses and for their families. And I'll let Justin take it away, but thank you for everything you do, Justin, and I'll let him take it away and sign us off.
Yeah, and thank you for all that you do. And Amanda is a huge part of ev what goes on. I mean, there's no two ways about it. I mean, it's it's definitely a lot of hats that she's got to wear. As well as my wife and dad and uh, I think just people in general was we just wear so many different hats and we've just gotten so used to it and it's like we're just numb to it. We just, oh, I gotta
Yeah.
do this. Okay, let me go do this and then we forget about the 100 things over on the other side that um so I think if we could just be I think caring just as human beings that would go a long way. So yeah, we've dropped a lot of things. So it's probably taken a lot of our viewers and listeners probably by surprise because this wasn't a real and hugely advertised episode. Uh, so just suffice to say that there's a lot coming, and we're happy to be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. So we will see you on the next episode of the show. If you can, reach out to 25 contacts in your phone, let them know about the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. Word of mouth is huge for us. We're a grassroots effort, over 100 countries, 1,200 cities worldwide, and it's only because of you. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for reposting, giving us a thumbs up, all those great things. And we are going to help and reach 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. And we're well on our way to doing that. And thank you to all our viewers, all our listeners, and we'll see you on the next show. Talk to you soon.